Hey, I'm Kaya, and so a while back I promised my good friends Drew and Alyssa that if I found a way to get CapCut back on my phone, I would start a YouTube channel to review books. This is my compromise. I will make one video reviewing The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson. So I just finished this book yesterday, but I've been reading it for like 3 months, two and a half, I don't know. I love most Brandon Sanderson books. I've read all of the Stormlight Archive books that are out. I've read Mistborn Era 1 and 2. I've read most of the Secret Projects. Yeah, so this is one I was really excited to read. I don't have Goodreads anymore, but if I did, I would have probably ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good book. It was really good, but the fact that it took me 2 months to read it, and it's only 385 pages, not a great sign. Okay, so I'm gonna try and give a spoiler-free review. So basically, you can read this as a standalone. You don't have to have the background of anything else in the Cosmere. It's better if you do, though, because the magic system will make more sense, and the main character appears in a lot of other books as well. So, I did not like the magic system in this world was interesting, but it seemed slightly less like creative in my opinion than some of his other books. Basically, main character ends up on this itty-bitty planet that has basically they have to outrun the sun because the sun is insanely powerful. It's super hot, it's huge, and so if you get caught out during the day, then you get killed because the sun will burn you alive. And so all the people on this planet, they live on flying ships that like circle the planet permanently. And it's kind of explained like how they get food and how they have the fuel for that. But yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, I would hate that life. So this main character gets in a fight basically with the tyrant of the planet. And so the tyrant of the planet's like, oh, I gotta beat this off-worlder because I have to prove that I'm big and strong. So the whole story is kind of like him. He joins with the main character, his name is Nomad. He joins with a group called the Beacon, and the Beacon is a separate group, kind of. Like, they're the rebels. So they're the ones that don't want to live under the Cinder King, who is the tyrant. They don't want to live under his rule. So they have separate ships, but the Cinder King doesn't like that, so he tries to kill them, and it's like a whole big thing, and blah blah blah, and like their leader got kidnapped and turned into something that they call a chard, which is... I don't like doing this. I would take too long to explain. It's like, basically, the Cinder King has this staff, and he pokes you, and then you basically turn into a mindless zombie that fights and is angry all the time. Yeah, so their one of their main leaders got turned into one of those, and so it's just, like, bad. And so they're all on the end of it. They're out of fuel, because sun hearts are what they use for fuel, and those are this is a sun heart, this thing right there. You get a sun heart if you leave a person out to be burned alive by the sun. And like the fuel doesn't last very long, and it's like brutal, and it's just a brutal way to live. And so they're running out of sun hearts, and they're like running out of the ability to run, but one of them finds a medallion / key that opens what they think is a refuge. And so they're trying to get to this refuge, and Nomad is like, I don't think that refuge is what you think it is. And so without spoiling it, I won't say anything more, but the story was pretty weirdly paced compared to a lot of the books. It wasn't slow necessarily, but it was definitely a lot of filler. Like, this book could have probably been about half the size and still gotten the main points across and would have been just as good, if not better. I did enjoy it. I really liked the ending. There was a lot of character development. I do like I love how Sanderson does characters, but I noticed that, honestly, a lot of the characters were really lacking in this story, and it made me sad. So, yeah, this was my super short review. All in all, I would recommend this book if you've read other Cosmere books, but if not, then this is probably not a good one to start with, just because it's set later in the timeline of grand events. And if you don't have a basic understanding of how Sanderson writes and how he writes his characters and worlds and magic systems, you probably won't appreciate this book for what it can be. Thank you! Shout out Drew and Alyssa for unintentionally making me do this. Love ya!